Hello Reddit. I've been a long-time lurker, but today I feel compelled to share my story. I'm Lily, a 25-year-old woman who has endured years of torment at the hands of a relentless bully. It all began in middle school when I was just a shy, awkward girl trying to find my place in the world. The bully, let's call her Jessica, was everything I wasn't: confident, popular, and seemingly untouchable. She took pleasure in making my life miserable, taunting me in the hallways, spreading rumors about me, and even physically assaulting me on occasion. No matter how hard I tried to avoid her, she always found a way to make me feel small and insignificant. As the years went by, I grew accustomed to living in fear of Jessica and her cruel antics. I tried to ignore her, to rise above her hurtful words, but deep down, the pain she caused me festered like an open wound. I became withdrawn, anxious, and lost all sense of self-confidence. But then, something inside me snapped. I realized that I couldn't continue to let Jessica dictate my life and happiness. I began to plot my revenge, meticulously planning every detail to ensure that she would finally pay for the years of torment she had inflicted upon me. My plan started with subtle acts of sabotage: a stolen homework assignment here, a misplaced locker key there. At first, Jessica didn't suspect a thing, dismissing the incidents as mere coincidences. But as the pranks escalated in severity, she began to grow paranoid, constantly looking over her shoulder and questioning her own sanity. Emboldened by my success, I decided to take my revenge to the next level. I created a fake social media account under a pseudonym and began to spread rumors about Jessica, painting her as the villain she truly was. The rumors quickly spread like wildfire, tarnishing her reputation and turning her friends against her. But I wasn't satisfied with just ruining her social life. I wanted to hit her where it hurt the most. With the help of a tech-savvy friend, I hacked into Jessica's email and uncovered a treasure trove of incriminating evidence of her cheating on exams, bullying other students, and even stealing from the school's fundraising events. Armed with this damning information, I confronted Jessica in front of the entire school, revealing her true colors for all to see. As she stood there, stunned and speechless, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that I had finally taken back control of my life. In the days following the revelation of Jessica's true nature, the fallout was swift and severe. Her once loyal circle of friends turned their backs on her, unable to reconcile the person they thought she was with the one exposed before them. Even those who had been mere bystanders to her bullying couldn't bring themselves to defend her any longer. The school administration, faced with undeniable evidence of Jessica's misconduct, took swift action. She was expelled from school, her academic achievements tarnished by accusations of cheating and unethical behavior. Her dreams of attending a prestigious university and pursuing a successful career were shattered in an instant. But the consequences didn't end there. Word of Jessica's actions spread beyond the confines of our school, reaching the wider community. Parents were outraged, demanding accountability for the harm she had caused to their children. Local media outlets picked up the story, shining a spotlight on the issue of bullying and its devastating effects. As for Jessica herself, she retreated into seclusion, haunted by the ghosts of her past misdeeds. With no friends to turn to and no prospects for the future, she found herself adrift in a sea of regret and remorse. The once confident bully was now a shell of her former self, forced to confront the consequences of her actions in solitude. In the months that followed, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of sympathy for Jessica. Despite the pain she had inflicted upon me and others, I couldn't ignore the signs that she too was a victim, not just of her own insecurities, but of a toxic environment that fostered cruelty and aggression. I later learned that growing up, Jessica faced pressures and expectations that pushed her to conform to a certain image of success and popularity. And in her quest to fit in, she lost sight of her own identity and humanity. From what I observed, Jessica's bullying wasn't just about asserting dominance or causing harm for its own sake. It was a desperate attempt to mask her own insecurities and vulnerabilities, a misguided belief that by tearing others down, she could elevate herself in the eyes of her peers. But as we all know, true confidence and self-worth can never be gained at the expense of others. Jessica's actions were fueled by a lack of guidance and support from the adults in her life. Instead of intervening when they saw signs of her behavior spiraling out of control, they turned a blind eye, dismissing it as kids being kids. This lack of accountability only served to reinforce Jessica's belief that her actions were justified, further perpetuating the cycle of bullying and abuse. I then learned something about Jessica that shook me to my core. Through a mutual acquaintance, I discovered that Jessica had reached a breaking point during the height of her bullying, and she had seriously contemplated taking her own life. It was a revelation that struck me with a profound sense of sadness and guilt. You see, while I had endured years of torment at Jessica's hands, I never stopped to consider the pain she might have been going through herself. I had been so consumed by my own suffering that I failed to recognize the humanity in the person who had caused it. Learning about Jessica's struggles forced me to confront my own biases and preconceptions. In that moment, I realized that holding on to anger and resentment would only perpetuate the cycle of pain and suffering. Instead, I made the conscious decision to extend an olive branch to Jessica, not out of obligation or pity, but out of a genuine desire to make amends and move forward together. I reached out to Jessica, offering her a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on. To my surprise, she didn't accept my offer at all. She said she wanted nothing to do with me, and anything and everything that happens to her is my fault. I will always remember those words. 2 days later, she tried attempting again, and this time she was successful. I felt immense guilt, and I still do. It was my fault, and I don't know how to live with that. I am haunted by my actions every single day. How do I move forward? Do I deserve to?